Eighth graders. All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. Today we're just going to do a short review on calculating slope from a graph and how to calculate slope from 2 points. All right, so let's start with calculating slope from a graph. So here on question 3, we have a line, all right? Looks like it's falling, so you should automatically know that that is a negative slope. So remember, lines that fall from left to right have a negative slope. They are decreasing, all right? Their average rate of change is negative. Now, how do we find what that slope value is? How do we know what that unit rate of change is, that average rate of change? All right, well, step one, you guys are going to choose 2 nice points. This graph already did for us. See how they highlighted 2 nice points? There we go. So we have 2 nice points. Step 2, we are going to draw a right triangle, all right? Starting at the left point, all right? Let's do our change in y first. So up or down? Well, to go from this point to that point, I have to go down, all right? So the leg of my triangle is going to be down, and then my other leg, I'm going to have to go right. All right, now these legs of the triangle represent our changes. All right, we have our change in y, which is up or down. Now starting at that leftmost point, looks like we went down 1, 2, 3. So our change in y is -3. Our change in x, we had to go right 2. That's 1, 2. So our change in x was +2. And that's our change in x. Now, we plug these values into our slope formula. Slope is change in y over change in x. And that is simply -3 over 2. And we'll leave it as an improper fraction, all right, unless told to do otherwise. All right, so that's how you calculate slope from a graph. Choose 2 nice points, draw your right triangle. All right, I always like to start with the point on the left when counting my jumps. Down 3, right 2. All right, it's very similar to the translations we did in the last unit. All right, onward. The next thing we dealt with was calculating slope from 2 points. All right, so say they don't give you a graph. Say they give you 2 points, and they say a line passes through, I don't know, the point, 8, 10, and -7, 14. All right, we've got a line that passes through those 2 points. We don't have a graph, all right? So we've got to do it the old-fashioned way. Now, one of the strategies, and the preferred strategy that you guys have so far, is called the table strategy that I use. We create an x and y table. So we have our inputs and our outputs, and then we put the points in that table. The first point has an input of 8, an output of 10. Our second point has an input of -7, an output of 14. All right, these numbers are a little tricky, all right, but we can do it. Now we count our jumps. So how do we go from 10 to 14? Well, you add 4. All right, some of you guys are very good at picking this up. Some of us, you might need to do subtraction. You might have to ask yourself, well, what's 14 minus 10? That's 4, all right? So to go from 10 to 14, you add 4. How do we go from 8 to -7? Ooh, we're going to have to subtract here, all right? So 8 to -7, we would subtract 15. All right, now if you can't see that in your head, you can always subtract. You could do -7 minus 8. All right, and we get -15. That's our change. All right, so you can always find your change using subtraction. All right, then we go back to our slope formula, which is change in y over change in x. And we get a slope of 4 over -15. Have to ask yourself, can I simplify that fraction? In this case, no. So our slope is simply -4/15. All right, you can attach that negative to either the 15 or the 4, as long as it's only attached to one of them. All right, so for the rest of today's class or today's assignment, you guys are going to go to Google Classroom, complete today's Google form, Email me if you have any questions. Have a good rest of your day.